Ever had that sick feeling crawl up your spine, that creeping shadow telling you, no, warning you that the storm isn't just coming, it's already here? That moment where hope and fear collide and the air thickens with a tension so deafening. Detroit's heartbeat seems to catch in its throat. Well, that's exactly where we stand right now, Lions fans. You feel it, don't you? The quiet before the damn avalanche. Light up the comments if you're holding on to whatever thread of faith you've got left. Because today, this moment, the ground shook beneath Allen Park, and it's not just the usual training camp jitters echoing through the silence. Behind closed doors, whispers turned into grim nods, and the chemistry of our defense began to falter like a cracked mirror reflecting a fractured dream. Insiders are whispering two more defensive starters. Key cogs in this tentative Detroit defense machine limped off the field with injuries that sting deeper than just muscle and bone. They strike at the fragile heart of a unit already battered and bruised beyond reason. Derek Barnes, our linebacker, the kind of tenacious force we pinned our hopes on, forced to exit practice early, clutching his hand as if the very fate of this season bruised his flesh. And Terrian Arnold, a cornerback whose presence was quietly becoming a beacon against the relentless offenses plowing through the league, now sidelined with a leg injury that might keep him away longer than anyone wants to admit. This isn't just two players hurt, it's a warning shot, a chilling prelude to chaos on the defensive front that was supposed to be our rock, our rugged backbone. We've stared down heartbreak since '91, carrying scars that run deeper than the stains on the field or the cracks in the stadium stands. From the ashes of the Caldwell years, from the trenches of doubt and derision, we learned to rebuild and believe again. But with Alex Anzalone still nursing a hamstring, Roy Lopez sidelined by a foot issue, and guards of our scoreboard's fate like Al-Quad and Muhammad vanish into the unknown, what happens if the house of cards collapses faster than we can catch our breath? The silver glimmers the brief return of Broderick Martin and Stanley Thomas Oliver to practice like flickers of light in this growing storm. But can flashes of hope illuminate what feels like an encroaching darkness? What if every injury, every setback, is a thread pulled from the tapestry that was meant to hold Detroit's defense strong, exposing raw vulnerability under the bright, unforgiving lights of the NFL? What if this is the last real chance to ignite something fierce before the window slams shut, and we're left gasping for scraps in the shadows of better days? And you know what haunts every lion-hearted fan in every corner of this city? It's that nagging, what if no one wants to speak aloud ... What if these injuries snowball into a spiral that drags us back into the abyss of doubt and frustration, back into the relentless river of mediocrity we've battled for decades? What if the domino that fell today isn't just a signal? It's the first crack in the foundation of a season we dared dream could be different. And if this domino falls like the others before it, if Barnes and Arnold's exits become the avalanche that buries this defense, you won't believe who's next waiting to bear the weight of Detroit's expectation and heartbreak. Because if these wounds deepen and the body politic of the defense fractures beyond repair, Detroit's not just going to fall again. We're going to rise roaring with a vengeance so fierce it will shake foundations, bleed passion through every nerve, and remind the world that we're not just a team. We're a city that refuses to quit. And now the fuse is lit. There's no going back, only the waiting, the aching, and the haunting question of what happens when the Lions, battered but unbowed, finally have to show their claws. Shatter the silence. Detroit, our time is bleeding into the storm. And if we don't fight now, the darkness will have already claimed what's left of our spirit. It's like standing on the ruins of Ford Field, watching the ghosts of past seasons whispering bitter truths, the heartbreaks, the near misses, the endless no's echoing through our bones from the 0 to 16 abyss. Remember that nightmare? Or how Dan Orlovsky's safety haunted our dreams every time the game slipped away when we needed just one more inch of hope. Calvin Johnson's retirement, the void he left in our heart, still stings despite years passing, the perfect emblem of feeling like we're fighting a losing war against time and doubt. Barry Sanders, The elusive legend who was supposed to carry our hopes into glory, he walked away amidst a storm of injuries and heartbreak, leaving us with nothing but bitter memories and the scars of what could have been. We've been here. Before Jim Caldwell's firing, a shockwave that sent our fragile franchise back into chaos, teetering on the brink of collapse, only to claw our way back with a grit forged in fires of disappointment. But this season, it feels different. The whispers in Allen Park aren't just off-season chatter. They're terrifying forecasts that shake your core. Injuries piling up like ash after a wildfire. Cracks in the defense widening into chasms that threaten to swallow our whole identity. We saw what happened last year when the playoffs were within reach, every game a war. Every drive a battle against fate, and yet now, with key pieces like Barnes and Arnold limping off the field, the ground feels more unstable than ever. These aren't just injuries, they're harbingers, storm clouds hanging heavy, threatening to unleash chaos upon our defense, our last line of hope. Derek Barnes, that relentless force who was supposed to be the key to our linebacking core, clutching his hand like it's a wound from a war he can't win. Terrion Arnold, who arrived recently with promise, now fighting for his mobility, his season hanging on a thread as cruel as the battles we fought to get here. The locker room's tense, whispers of fear mingling with bravado, as if everyone knows what's coming and is desperately trying to pretend it's just a rough patch. Yet everyone can see the cracks spreading like wildfire under the sun. Do our front office even realize what's at stake? Are they strategizing in dark rooms, desperate to patch the leaks with smoke and mirrors, knowing this injury storm might drown us all? The NFC North's ferocity grows fiercer every year. Rivals, sharpening their claws, waiting for us to stumble so they can pounce. Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, they see our wounds and breathe new life into their schemes. Our coaches? God, they're spinning tailies of resilience while the clock's ticking louder, reminding us that sometimes hope is just a fragile illusion, a mirage fading fast in the desert of realities. Last year's roller coaster was a reminder that fleeting. Taste of playoff glory, a chance to prove we're more than just a franchise haunted by past failures, only to fall short at the last hurdle, crushed by doubt and desperation. Now, with injuries piling up, every play, every snap feels like the final move in a chess game we can't afford to lose. What's our next move? Do we scramble for salvation, or is this the beginning of the end? When the house of cards finally collapses, dragging everything we work for into the abyss, the ghosts of Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, and Dan Orlovsky loom larger than ever. Contradictions of greatness that remind us we fought tooth and nail against an unforgiving history, yet here we are again standing on the edge, staring into the abyss of what-ifs. And here's the truth, those injuries might not be the end, but they're the warning shot that ignites the inferno of questions burning through every diehard's mind. Are we still the Lions bleeding blue and silver, or just a wounded beast limping toward its kill? The locker room talks in hushed tones of resilience, but also of fear, because if our defensive foundation crumbles like fragile dirt, what remains of our season? And who's next? Who's the domino that's waiting, on the brink of falling, to shatter our dreams into 1,000 pieces? The clock's winding down, the stakes legendary, and no matter how wild the night, no matter how fierce the storm, the question remains, are we ready to roar back into the fight, or is this the moment we finally see the future slipping out of our grasp, swallowed by shadows we're too scared to face? Because one way or another, Detroit something's coming, and when it does, I promise you won't be able to turn away.